We extend our most sincere and heartfelt apologies from the depths of our souls. Brace yourselves for the unparalleled atrocity that is our podcast. Mistakes, oh sweet mistakes, were made with the finesse of a bull in a china shop. Easily avoidable, if executed with stunning incompetence. You'll be thrilled to know that we encountered a groundbreaking OBS issue during the video recording. The audio side of things, well, let's just say it wasn't a symphony for the ears. But hey, we're all about transparency, or at least we're pretending to be. If you've managed to track down this gem, congratulations. Clearly, you possess a level of caring rarely seen in this universe. Either that, or you're a glutton for punishment, or perhaps you just revel in the sheer joy of witnessing a podcast train wreck. Regardless of your motives, we cordially invite you to enjoy our review of Titans Season 2 Episode 10 Fallen. May your tolerance for mediocrity be as boundless as our commitment to producing it.
Why? Who's running this episode?
Hello, all of you wonderful people out there in podcast land. Welcome to... Oh, I thought you said you were ready, Lee.
What?
What?
It's recording. Go ahead. Whatever.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hello, all of you wonderful people out there in podcast land. Welcome to another episode of Black and White Reviews. My name is Will.
My name is Lee.
And I'm Chuck.
Oh. And, yeah.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
It's been a long night already. Huh?
And this week we are here.
A conversation about another TV show.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with the title of the TV show.
Nothing. And here we are talking about something else.
We brought that name up. We brought that name up once.
A couple times. Well, here we're going to talk about something different that's equally crap. Titans Season 2, Episode 10, title Fallen.
Why?
And the reason why this episode is crap is because, again, Rachel can just do whatever she wants. Whatever she wants.
And
now,
then
the question is, what's controlling her? Is it her? Is it something else? Is it a spirit? I don't know. But there's a guy who ended up dead and they took his leg. So I'm just like, what is happening with this character? I'm officially on board. This character makes no sense. This character makes zero sense.
Now, Will, you shared something with me earlier.
I'm trying not to share that with Chuck.
Well, it's too late. I'm sorry. We're not going to hold this back. You finished out the season because you were like, what's going on here? You finished out the season and you still have no answers, right?
None.
You see my point?
No.
There's no answer. It's not a spoiler. It's just like, I'm sorry. Don't get your hopes up. It's not going to happen.
I thought that when I was done with this episode. Like, this episode ended in such a way, especially with Rachel and some other things, and I was like, all right, I can't wait another week. I gotta skip forward a little bit. What is happening? And okay.
Wait a minute, we're on episode
10.
10? There's 3 episodes left still.
Correct.
3.
And you watched all 3 of them already?
3 episodes left. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about any of them. I'm not like Lee. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers. You're getting nothing.
He's good at that.
You're getting nothing. This episode, specifically Rachel, and specifically Dick. How?
I don't get what happened with Dick in this episode.
At the end of this episode, they lock him in a cell, and he gets out of his cell to save his prisoner friends. How did he get out? How did he get out? He's a guy. He's a guy that puts on a suit. He's a guy that's good at martial arts. How did he get out of his cell? He's not a superhero. He has no powers.
He has Bruce Wayne's phone number.
Stop it. He has no powers. Bruce Wayne is not here. Not here. Bruce Wayne is not relevant in this at all. Okay? And he's in his cell chilling. They take the people away. They lock the door. And all of a sudden, he's out there in the courtyard fighting with the guards. Taking care of business. How'd he get out?
He's Robin. No, he's not. He's Dick Grayson.
No, he's not.
He's
not even that anymore. They drew the thing on the wall. He is officially Nightwing now. I'm calling it now. I'm sick of waiting for it. The Spanish guy threw the bird, drew the bird thing on the wall, etched it in, bam. That's it. That's it. It can't be laid on any more thickly than that.
Yeah, there was some. I watched this episode and I was like, why was this episode put into this TV show? Because up until this point, I really, 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 really like most of what's going on.
So do I.
I don't fully know, like, so this guy that he's trying to not protect but protect or help or not help, who's like his cellmate because he's got 3 cellmates, and then the guy gets like shanked in the neck 4 or 5 times.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, okay, I don't understand why. Donna was doing something to try to get a hold of Rachel, but I don't know what she was doing. Rachel was at a soup kitchen. Why?
She was looking for organic food.
She was looking for a friend. Why was she looking for a friend? Why did she go to the soup kitchen? How did she know to go to the soup kitchen? How did she know to go to the soup kitchen? How did she know this girl needed help? Where does she know this girl from? Just all of a sudden she sits down next to a girl that's being abused by her father, and oh my God, I can help you now. How did she know?
That was her brother. That was her brother.
I thought that was her father.
Whatever. Well, no, because she got out of the car with Donna.
Yeah. And knew where she was going.
Go on.
Knew where to sit down in the soup kitchen. Knew to talk to her. Knew to follow her. Knew she needed help. Helped her. And then spirit whatever thing came out of her body and killed guy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was just in the wrong car. That's all. She wasn't in the car with Trinity, who said, "You've been down that road before." You know where that leads.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. This episode was a big nothing.
No, it was something. This episode was something. These next 3 weeks,
Gar and Connor,
buckle up. These next 3 weeks for me are gonna be. This is gonna be a wild ride, and this is just the start of it. This is first of all. So, okay, I gotta take it. I gotta calm down. I'm sorry, Chuck. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
No,
you're fine.
Lee, what did you think about this episode?
This is my favorite episode.
Oh,
I'm hoping he's joking.
I really hope you're serious.
Could be summed up in 15 minutes. I mean, reality is the only thing that was cool was like, okay, this is the one. No. This one starts off with them already captured, right? They were captured. Gar and Superman Light were both captured already.
No.
Oh, they got captured here. Oh, okay. They get captured in this episode.
Yeah.
Little bloody handprints. Whatever.
Later on.
Yeah. So their little tower is now like completely exposed. So their safe house is not a safe house.
So
But I'm pretty sure they don't stop meeting there. It still remains Titan's Tower.
Which is fine. What I don't get is Dick punched a cop.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in prison.
Yeah, for 7 years.
7 years.
He's in prison.
7 years.
Well, he pleaded guilty. He didn't even try to fight
That's
anything.
all they gave him was 7 years for punching a cop. Not just a cop, a federal officer. He punched a federal officer and all they gave him was 7 years. I don't care if he does plead guilty.
He was a security guard at the airport.
In the subtitles it says
federal officer.
Federal officer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just really fast for him to be ending up in prison already.
It was really quick. It was really fast.
Like yesterday, you punched a cop. Today, you're in prison, and I'm going to offer you your own. I'm going to offer you your own cell. I want to go to Gen Pop. I want to go to Gen Pop. Why? This guy, the guard that's in here, he's played on a bunch of stuff. I just kept my finger on it.
Yeah.
But he's played on a bunch of stuff.
He has.
He's been around for a while. Yep.
Yeah, I will say this. When when the stuff that comes out of Rachel goes into the gargoyle towards the end, the graphics on this were so campy.
Yes, they were.
It was 1995.
Remember the purple stuff that went into the ear a couple of episodes ago? That was bad too.
It reminded me of Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat, when things would come alive that were gargoyles.
Were some bad graphics.
This was bad.
This was bad.
Really bad. Yeah. This was really of all the stuff. It's like, can you?
Yeah.
Good things can only last so good for so long.
But you know what? Maybe things pick up in the next episode. Maybe things pick up by the way they end. Maybe things happen. Maybe things happen. I'm still optimistic. I still love the show. There are just some things that I have problem with. Primarily right now, it's pacing and it's the way that some of these characters are being treated. Primarily Dick and Rachel right now. I have no idea. I have no idea why Dick is in prison. I have no idea why he feels like he belongs there for whatever reason. I have no idea why this thing is coming out of Rachel and animating gargoyles to go kill a guy and take his leg. I have no idea. I have no idea why. Here's another. I have no idea why some people on the show have to be so stupid. They actually show Superman Light ripping things apart on the news, and then they have the audacity to say, $50,000 reward for information. I'm sorry, 50 grand is not enough. If I see that doing what it does, 50 grand is not enough for me to rat on him. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not.
Because he's coming after me next.
He's coming after me next. He's shooting lasers out of his eyes. He's ripping the town apart. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you. What I don't get is, I understand that Dick wants to go to prison because he feels guilty about what happened to Jericho.
Yeah, and everybody.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason why he's in prison, and there's a reason why they're showing him in prison, and that's unclear. And I know both of you now know.
You sure?
Well, you both have watched it to the end of the season, so yes.
Do you think that matters? Just answer that question. Do you think that matters? No, it doesn't matter. Okay, he's in prison. He's in prison. I still don't.
Spoiler alert.
The reason why I don't understand why he's in prison is showcased in this episode. If he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't have to be there. He can leave his cell or break out or escape whenever he wants to. So why is he there? It's like oh my god, it's like that Will Smith movie Hancock, where he goes to prison just because, and they throw the ball, and he jumps outside of the gate to go get the ball, and then goes back. Why? Why would you even bother? You can leave whenever you want. You are not bound by these walls. It's insane. The premise of it is ridiculous. You do not have to be there if you do not want to. You can leave freely. Clearly, these walls are not caging you. He got out of a locked cell.
Because he's Dick Grayson.
No explanation.
Yeah. Yeah. After that happens, he gets what? Hit in the head and taken back, right?
Yeah, they jump him. His buddies get away and they jump him. I'm gonna say this without spoiling anything.
Nothing happens in season 3.
There are things that happen in this show where I'm like, wait, how did this happen? Did I miss something? Like, I don't remember there being an explanation as to how this got here or this person got here. And it was really just like this throwaway
Bruce
thing
Wayne.
that never happened. Yeah, answer's Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne. So his name was dropped a lot in this episode, and
okay.
I'm gonna call Bruce Wayne now. I should call Bruce Wayne. Hey, Bruce, I was told to call Bruce Wayne. Why don't I call Bruce Wayne? Like, come on. That was season 1. I'm so done with Bruce Wayne right now.
I don't remember him saying it that many times.
Gar?
Yeah.
Is like,
I thought he said it like once. anyway.
He said it a few times. He said it a few times. The one thing I am happy about in this episode, they are laying on the Nightwing thing really thick with the story of this bird that's going to come down and save people from the sky, and then you have the guy drawing the symbol. You have this guy drawing the symbol on the wall and everything, and it's very much centered around Dick, and it's very much Nightwing, and we're very we're getting there. Like if anything,
that's the reason why he's in prison. He was going in to find himself
a symbol.
Yes,
he was going in there to find a graphic artist to come up with a new logo for him, so it can be something new.
I don't like the R. Can you change it for me?
And I love and the guy's so sincere when he's telling the story of like this bird that's gonna come and save them, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens.
Yep.
At the end of this episode, that's kind of what happens. Robin, Nightwing, whatever you want to call him, comes out of nowhere and saves them. So it's okay. Laying it on really thick, which I'm happy about because
what was the whole purpose of just kill me?
I don't know.
Like Dick is telling his cellmates to just kill him. Well, it'd be better if you just killed me.
Yeah.
And then and then the guy dies. He gets shanked, and then they're in the cell again. He's like, "If you tell me to kill you again,
if you tell me I should have killed you,
yeah, right.
I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of weird stuff that just, I don't know. It's more just.
It's like you said.
This episode was just a jumbled mess because there was no like. Within the confines of just the episode, there was no real continuity of what was going on.
No,
and it was just things everywhere.
Yeah,
which I think may be done on purpose because everybody is everywhere, and they're trying to give you that feeling of like, hey, you're feeling what's actually going on. You're feeling this jumbled mess, which is actually what's going on. Which, if that's the case, fine, but it still felt like it was pieced together versus like written that way.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
I guess so.
I don't know if that makes.
I guess
it just feels like it's a jumbled mess.
The only thing that makes sense is Dick is in prison to find himself. Like he goes to prison to feel guilty, but he finds dude drawing the bird on the wall. That's it. That's it.
What was Donna's role in this episode?
Besides to look upset, as always,
to walk around looking upset, and to make phone calls that go nowhere. That's pretty much all I remember from her in this episode. She didn't really do much. It was all pretty much Dick and Rachel, which I'm fine with. And the way the episode ends with with them storming Titan Tower and them coming to get Gar and Connor, I guess that's a positive too, because this entire season we've been wondering what's going on with Gar. Where's some kind of a story arc for him? Because he's just been sitting around doing nothing. This is something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I will say, seeing the end of the episode, I mean, the very last thing we get in this is like he wants to go back to his friends. He wants to go back to his Titans. I say that's a good idea. Well, obviously, we see where this is going.
Mm.
You know, I mean, obviously, Will, you know where it's going. I believe I recall where it's going. Chuck, I mean, do you have any ideas, any thoughts of where it's going?
Well, they're going to join back up again.
Why would they just let him go back with his friends? You don't.
Well, Dick?
No, Gar.
Oh,
no,
Gar. Of course, they're tracking him.
Okay.
They want to know more.
That's a thought. That's a theory. That makes sense. It's there's definitely a lot more sinister things going on. I mean, tracking him, he's going to go right back to the house that they already know where it is.
Which would be stupid. It would be incredibly dumb of him to do that.
Yeah.
If they just let him go and he just goes back to the house, like that's kind of
So Yeah. Anyway, I like how they ended it because that was actually a great ending to an episode. I'll say because it is clearly like leading to something that now Mercy Grave is going to focus her attention on attacking the Titans. So it's an attack on Titans, if you will. Which coming from that,
she is in this episode compared to the last time we saw her. Yeah. She's better in this episode than she was the last time we saw her. She's definitely she's definitely more menacing. She's definitely more menacing this time around than the last time we saw her.
Yeah,
so it is something to look forward to. Like
play a board game with her.
Yeah, it's weird. It is so weird. We're playing a board game. Board game's off, and they all just smile. They're all happy that okay, we don't have to hang out with her. It's hilarious. I don't know. She's one of those characters that's just like ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What a name, Mercy Graves.
So is she now the big bad?
No, she's just kind of the head henchman.
Okay, but Deathstroke is kind of like off to the side now.
Yeah, in this episode, we didn't even hear anything about him.
Not really.
At all.
Well, you really don't have to hear anything about him at all. I mean, he's still like, okay, the Titans aren't back together. He's out of sight, out of mind.
Right. He said, I'll leave you alone. He's like, hey, they're gone. So, but if you ever even get together, like for a weekend.
Which is smart, because he probably knows in the back of his mind, they're never going to be able to stay apart. It's only a matter of time before. Like, it's smart on his end. Yeah,
and it gives him a chance to take a quick little vacay. He clearly needs it. Whatever the heck's going on with him.
It's still like,
oh, you know what's going on now.
But I'm trying like really hard right now to like play it off.
I know, but hey, whatever. That's welcome. So, I don't know. I always find it interesting when you have a character like Dick Grayson, stuck in prison, and like you said before, like he could easily just hop over the fence. It's like,
well, he's not stuck in prison,
but he's not stuck. But he's putting himself in that position. He clearly does not. Like, he does not want to get out of there. Every single opportunity this guard gives him to have an easier sentence, an easier situation, he's like, no, I don't want that. I want to be punished.
The point
is like, okay, you're a jerk.
What's the point of the punishment? If the punishment is a choice, even a penance, if the punishment or a penance is a choice that you could just easily pick up and put down when you want to, what's the point? Mm-hmm. Like a punishment or a penance is supposed to be something happening to you, or you doing something that's against your will.
He's not going to fight. He's not going to fight himself out of it.
It's not a punishment or a penance. It's just torture at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just like some dude sitting there. What was that? Da Vinci Code? This dude like whipping himself and stuff like that. It's just how he does it. He could easily not whip himself. But here's where he is. He's putting himself in a position where he can just be harmed and thrown around.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but if it came down to it, though, and somebody in prison was actually going to try to hurt him, he wouldn't let it happen.
Him, yes. Other people who were innocent, like he saw here, no.
No.
He saw an injustice, and because of who he is, he couldn't allow that to happen, and that's where he stepped in.
I'm saying the difference is...
If somebody was going to kill him, sure, he would not let them kill him.
I think he would. In that moment when he tells them, you should kill me,
he did say it. Yeah.
He probably would have let them kill him.
Yeah, I don't think he would have.
I do. I mean, it didn't
because
happen,
that's before. But going back to Lee's points, that's before he saw the injustice of these people in prison who were innocent. That's before that moment. If he could have just lived his life that way and completely blocked himself off, and somebody came at him, he probably would have let somebody kill him.
Yep. I think at that point, that's where he was at.
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
He let them know he was a detective.
Yeah.
In prison.
Yeah.
He wanted to be in general population. So he did not care about his own well-being.
That's right.
It's when he saw the injustice and then he was inspired by the bird on the wall. That's when things changed.
He told them, "You should kill me," and then he went to sleep.
Uh-huh.
Waiting. He's probably shocked he woke up alive. like so honestly, like that's
probably annoyed.
Maybe a little bit of that too. I don't know.
Let's talk about the term that people say, one of these days you're going to wake up dead. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Wait a minute.
One of these days you're going to eat starving. Huh? Okay.
That makes sense.
I don't know. Every good thing has to have a pooper episode. Every good TV show. This just happens to be the pooper episode.
Every party has a pooper.
Every party has a pooper.
Yeah. They call can't be one. Listen, I still love the show.
Oh, me too.
This is Dick and Rachel. Dick and Rachel is wow. This was okay. I think I would be fine. I think I would be fine if like Rachel had any kind of control at all leading up to this and a couple of episodes ago containing the power of the sun just out of nowhere. And now all of a sudden she's levitating dudes and the smoke is coming out of her.
But then she holds herself back and whatever evil is there stays out and does it anyway. That's kind of interesting, and I'm wondering where it's going to go, if anywhere.
It went into a gargoyle.
Yeah, I understand that. But that's the thing, is like, it's just like anything, like, what do you do with all that extra energy?
See, and here's the thing, this is still, and the two of you told me no, this is still the first season, there being a big difference between Raven and Rachel.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Massive difference. Big time difference.
Yeah, she's just not facing it in the mirror like she used to. It's something that she's containing inside to a point that's like separate from her, and she has no idea what it's doing. Before she knew, she was
some
conscious.
Control.
Now she's not.
She has some control.
She has control over the power.
Rachel did not kill. Rachel did not kill the guy. Raven killed the guy. Didn't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Rachel doesn't know what's happening when she's not in control.
I think she does.
Before, you think she knew that the gargoyle hopped out?
No, I don't think she knew about the gargoyle, but I think she has control over whatever is going on. Maybe not
the gargoyle. That's my point.
No, she doesn't have control over the gargoyle.
That's part of her or whatever snuck out and did what it did.
Which is wild.
And that's the whole point. It's like now we're dealing with two different personalities fighting for the control and the power. So I mean, maybe we're looking too deep into it, but I think that's the only thing they're getting at here.
You know what it is?
And
you know what it
obviously,
is?
we know, what it is. Nowhere soon, but
you know what it is?
Why?
It's Venom and Eddie Brock.
Eddie knows. Eddie knows what Venom does. He's
no,
like,
not always. Not always.
If he's sleeping,
Venom can very much live and survive separate of Eddie. So
he does.
Not when Eddie's there. I'm saying when they're together, when they're joined, Eddie is conscious.
No. Venom can actually come out of Eddie.
I know that.
They can have both people side by side.
Venom can go off and do his own thing.
I know. I just said that. That's the same thing that happened here.
That's why
when we see Rachel. Yeah, I know.
So let me ask you this question. Speaking of Venom, who's your favorite Eddie Brock? That 70s show?
Absolutely. 100%.
Tom?
I want you to kill Peter Parker. He prays in a church. He prays in a church for God to kill Peter Parker.
Yeah, but that or Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
Well, both of them were very weird choices. Tom Hardy, I mean, he did a good job, but he was so weird and stinky. I don't know how else to put it. Like, he was not the Eddie Brock.
Tom Hardy was here. Topher Grace is.
I'm not saying I liked. I'm not saying I didn't like him better. I'm just saying both of them were very strange choices for Eddie Brock.
I like Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy was more comedic than
I expected.
Yes.
Way more comedic than I expected.
Way more, yes.
Grace was not.
No.
He was just butthurt because...
Yeah. My spider sense is tingling, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, what was he, Daffy Duck? What was that? It was weird.
I haven't seen the second.
Weird.
I haven't seen the second movie yet. Only the first one.
Oh,
Venom.
Yeah.
Venom.
Was it good?
It was all right. It was all right. It was a good time.
It was kind of forgettable.
It was. It was still a good time.
It measured up to the first one.
Yes.
To me, they're both kind of forgettable. They weren't amazing, but they weren't bad.
No, they weren't amazing.
No.
Only Spider-Man was amazing.
Only Andrew Garfield.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
So we're listening to a friend of ours podcast titled The Keep Up Podcast.
Check them out.
And they're talking about the other fantastic, on par with Venom, of Morbius, which you saw, correct?
I'd rather have watched Lesbius.
Will, did you see Morbius at all?
I refuse. I heard so many bad things about that movie.
They said that it was like
so many bad things about that movie.
I've seen it pop up on Netflix, and I'm like, it would hit play, and I'm like, no, I can't. I don't know if I want to put myself through 2.5 hours of just garbage. From what I've understood,
is much worse. Alone in the Dark.
Wow,
is
one of them.
That is not a high bar.
What was worse, this or The Source?
Yeah, this was clearly much better than The Source. I would watch this 50 times before I'd ever consider watching The Source again. And that's only to just rip on it again and tell people
not to watch it.
Do it.
So they were saying that it's actually on par with like the early 2000s Blade trilogy.
It's kind of like that.
Really?
It's the same kind of graphics. It's the same kind of storytelling, but it's done. It's just 20 years too late.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's you? Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Jared really good as?
I've got this issue with Jared Leto. I don't know. I really don't like him. I don't like anything I've seen him.
I thought he did really good in.
He's disturbing to me.
I thought he did really good as Joker in the Snyder Cut.
The ending.
That was really, really good.
That was it.
Him in Suicide Squad, not so hot.
No.
So that's why I'm skeptical on watching Morbius, because I'm like, I'm with you. I'm like, I don't know if I really like him that much. But if I watch another vampire movie, it's either that or Nicolas Cage. But
Dracula.
But my favorite, I know
like a peach sorbet.
I know that we're off of Titans for a moment, but my favorite vampire movie so far that's action is the original first Underworld movie.
That is still a good movie.
That holds up. Movie.
That holds up.
And Bill Nye was in that.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things I remember seeing him in, and he was really great in that.
Well, was that out first, or was Shaun of the Dead out first?
That was out first. Shaun of the Dead was way later.
Was it really?
Oh yeah.
Because he was fantastic in that film.
Mm-hmm.
Kate Beckinsale killed it.
Oh yeah.
Because before that, she wasn't an action hero.
Not at all.
And they actually, when they did that movie,
and even after that, she was not an action hero. It's the only thing she did where she was an action.
When they did this film, they were actually trying to compare Celine in that film to Trinity in The Matrix,
mm-hmm.
and they were trying to make her better because she's not wearing sunglasses, so she's not like hiding the fact that she's blinking whenever she shoots.
Yeah.
And they made her more insane than Trinity.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is actually really cool. And I thought it was I would actually do that movie. Because it's actually a really, really good movie.
I don't remember if I went past the third one because I know they kept going.
They did Rise of the Lycans after that. Yeah, they did Rise of the Lycans, which kind of goes off.
Underworld, Evolution, Rise of the Lycans, Underworld Awakening, and Blood Wars.
Yeah, I didn't watch Awakening or Blood Wars.
I had no idea those two movies even existed.
I remember they came out, and I'm just like, man, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2012 and 2016.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really? That late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get this. If you're going to do a trilogy, just leave it trilogy.
03, 06, 09, 2012, 2016.
Yeah. It's a good space.
So it's all in line. Yeah.
It's in line.
That makes sense. So it could be a saga, which is fine, I guess. But those last two it was like to me, it was like Pirates of the Caribbean. They had the first 3, and then they were like, "Oh, they did really, really well. Let's just bang out these last 2," and those last 2 are just garbage.
I don't remember liking Rise of the Lycans all that much.
Was that the one that was focusing on Lucian?
Lucian, his brother. When they go back,
no.
when they go back in time. Yeah, his brother.
They go back in time, but it wasn't focused on.
Yeah, Lucian was in the second one, and that was the whole point. Was that
Lucian was at the end
like
of the first one? They woke him up.
End?
No, Lucian is the.
He's the Lycan.
He's the Lycan.
Oh,
Lucan is the bad guy.
Yeah, Victor is the one who was woken up.
Victor. Yeah, right, Victor.
Yeah, and that's Bill Nye. We're talking about Lucian, who was the Lycan.
Yeah.
And then the point of evolution was it was a half vampire, half Lycan.
Yeah.
Was that dude who looked like Scott Stapp or something? I barely remembered. He had hair like Scott Stapp.
That was the whole premise of the first movie. And then it went on his story after that.
Okay.
And then it went back in time to talk about Lucian and his brother.
And that was the Rise of the Lycans one. Yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay, that does make sense. Anyway.
But
we're talking about Underworld now when we're supposed to be talking about Titans. That's how interesting that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, we went from that to Morbius and then here. We went from that to DC and then to
that's
Marvel.
That's a straight line. That tracks.
Marvel. Yeah, Marvel to Marvel. Anyway, Titans, I just
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll
see what happens.
I will see what happens.
We'll all see it. I have to be reminded exactly what happens here. I remember how the third season starts and going like, oh, I wonder how. And
I will desperately try again next week to go along with some of your thoughts and ideas, Chuck. I tried. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This one just couldn't let me do it.
This episode was just bad.
Yeah.
I'll give it to. As much as I like this TV show, this episode was
a bad episode. It's a bad episode.
It was just a bad episode. And every TV show has it. Last of Us had episode 3, which was bad.
Wow.
Because it had nothing to do with the story. There's just
no. Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the game whatsoever.
No, every show has this. Every show
has one. Even sitcoms have them.
I was just about to say that. Like, imagine if you got your way and things were extended by 4 or 5 episodes a season. We'd be dealing with a lot more of this, a lot more filler, a lot more junk episodes. It'd be a lot worse.
Yeah.
If you had things your way, it would be a lot worse. It would be.
So this has 13 episodes, and I was saying anywhere between 13 and 16 episodes would be perfect. This right here is perfect. It's the 6 to 8 that's too short, and the 20 to 24 that's too long.
Right.
The 13 to 16 happy medium, because then you might have 1 or 2 fillers. Because here's the thing: is even though this is a filler, this right here is just they're setting it up for how he becomes. They're setting it up now. This is the beginning of the end of how he becomes.
They're setting it up.
The beginning of the beginning
by drawing a thing on a wall.
Yeah, that's it.
They're laying it on. They're bringing it up there.
I guess that's how he gets the idea on a prison wall.
Yep.
Well, I don't know, and I'm the only one who doesn't know.
Pretty explicit. Yep. I mean,
I know.
Pretty.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I mean,
it's like
it's super on the nose. But
if you have any comic knowledge at all, you look at that and go, "I wonder what that is."
I mean, we all knew day one watching this. We're like, "Oh, he's Robin, but he's going to become Nightwing."
He's going to become Nightwing. We should have known that. We should have known that. We should have known that when the show introduced Jason Todd out of nowhere. It's like, oh,
yeah.
I wonder when he's going to become Nightwing.
The only thing, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask this question. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to.
Be careful. I am not in a forgiving mood right now. I will answer this.
I know, and I know it happens down the road. But is Lex Luthor introduced in this season?
We're not going to talk about Lex Luthor.
All I want to know is he introduced in this season?
I will say no. I will tell you no.
Okay.
Lex has not yet been introduced. I'm not ruling it out that he may be.
Oh,
I'm not ruling that out at all.
I definitely think he's coming in at some point.
This
He
company,
this
company that was introduced, and Connor and that whole thing, and crypto and the whole cloning thing that's going on in the side of this facility, and everything else that we got the backstory of. I was fully expecting at some point Lex will be on screen.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? When they had this fight, it was so bad. When they break into Titan Tower and they're fighting Connor, right?
Yeah.
And the girl, she's like, kill them, but bring Connor back.
Yeah.
And then there's
Beast Boy.
There is Beast Boy. He's on film, so he's on camera somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees him turning into Beast Boy.
They had a phone around the corner recording him, wasn't it? Somebody was recording him.
So dumb. Like, where is there a camera on him?
He is turning into, and Connor is destroying everybody, but they have time to get the camera on
him.
Okay.
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
So they're like, okay, trank him. All the while, Crypto is like flying and jumping on people, and it looked so bad. It looked so bad.
It didn't look bad when Emma just wrapped herself around him and he flew out the window.
No, that looked bad. Well, no, that was fine. It was stupid, but it looked fine because it was just a blur.
It's a flying dog. I don't care. Nothing looks good about this. Nothing looks good about a flying dog.
He is an actual character in DC, so I'll give it that. It's ridiculous, but I mean, in Marvel, you have a raccoon.
No.
Come on.
He's not a raccoon. Well,
he is a raccoon.
He's a raccoon.
Yeah, he is now.
He always
been
was
a raccoon.
He's
always been a raccoon.
He didn't admit it until the end of 3.
Okay, just because he doesn't admit it doesn't mean he wasn't a raccoon up and.
Did you finally see that, Will? Guardians 3?
No, I have to.
Well, you got to watch it.
Eventually,
you should.
I will.
Honestly,
and you know
just
what?
Because of
he's always been Rocket Raccoon. Because Paul McCartney wrote a song about him.
Yeah, I know back then in the day, but my point is he never admitted in the movies that he was a raccoon.
Listen,
it doesn't mean that he's not a raccoon, though.
I know. It's a joke. Get over it.
Get over it.
Get over it.
But this dog fighting, like.
Yep. That's it.
It was just the graphics in this episode were just bad all the way around. They were bad.
The dog didn't fight too much. He got like immediately hit by a kryptonite net.
He jumped on one guy and
then that was it. Yeah.
Which I don't get that. So this is what I don't get. He is a clone.
Yeah.
He's not Kryptonian.
Right.
Kryptonite bullet should not affect him.
Nope.
Well,
maybe he's on a direct.
He already did.
He had.
It already did once.
It was.
I know,
Lex
but the
Luthor.
bullet should not affect him though because he's a clone. He's not an actual Kryptonite.
I know,
Kryptonian.
but it was Lex Luthor.
If you
was
clone
Kal-El and then Tar or something.
No.
If you clone Superman, but wouldn't it make sense if you're cloning Superman? Wouldn't it make sense that his weaknesses would carry over?
Yeah, it's his DNA and his strengths. So therefore, if his strengths come over, then
if you're if your great grandfather had cancer, and then your grandfather had cancer, and then your dad had cancer, you'd be worried right about now. You'd be,
But the interesting thing is they cloned him. Wouldn't you think they would find a way to clone him without the weakness of kryptonite because they clearly know that his weakness is kryptonite?
That's an idea.
No, they wouldn't do that.
We have the technology.
They need to be the ones that can. We can
take it out.
I'm sorry. This has been done before, and I said this before. Blade.
Yeah.
Okay. Half human, half vampire.
Yep.
All the weaknesses of the vampire.
Yep.
He did not have, except for the thirst.
Right.
He's half human.
I know.
He should not have kryptonite. Should not be his Achilles heel.
Who are you to say what the weakness is or what it isn't? You don't know. Are you a cloner? It is not an exact science.
Not to mention, do this for... it might be a bad idea.
Whoa. Who am I to say? We do this every week. We tell what should be done in a movie and what shouldn't be. So what the heck?
The goal.
Who am I to say? I am one of 3 guys on this podcast.
How dare you, sir?
The goal.
You don't have an opinion on this.
The goal here is that eventually we become the authority. That's the goal, gentlemen.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Everything has to live up to our standards. If it doesn't, then
exactly.
Get out of here.
But no, it actually makes sense if you think about it. It actually makes sense because if you're Lex, you're not going to build this thing to not have a weakness, just in case it turns against you.
Because you want to be able to. Yes, and especially because he wasn't like the end all. He was an experiment. He was one of many experiments.
Especially when you're sitting, especially if you're Lex and you're sitting around like, what has been the constant every time I've had the upper hand on Superman? Kryptonite. Make sure Kryptonite can kill this thing.
Yes. But what makes it different though is he's half human.
Half human,
right? So the fact that he's half human
would mean that he
would give him a weakness.
Why would that? He's genetically engineered.
He's still half human.
Lex can literally clickety click and whatever he wants. Lex is a genius.
Clickety clackety click.
Yes.
I don't think Lex is.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that means.
I don't think Lex is actually
clickety clackety clackety click clack. Okay.
I don't think Lex.
You knew exactly what I meant. Stop playing dumb. You knew exactly what I meant.
I don't think Lex. I think Lex is funding this. I think he has nothing to do with what's going on with the.
I think he completely has things to do. Emma brought him to the warehouse where the things went bad, where Lex was like an end, whatever he was there. Come on, Lex has a direct hand involved. You think this chick who's calling the shots now is in the lab with the vials and putting the stuff in the serum together? No, she's security. She's muscle. That's all she is.
No, Lex is the guy who funds it.
Lex is the guy who funds it, and that's it. Lex, 100%.
He's the CEO of the company. He doesn't do the dirty work. He tells people what to do.
He has nothing to do with this.
I don't know about that.
He's not getting. He's not getting his hand.
You had his dad. He was a genius, and he kept doing experiments and blah blah blah. Like, why would you stop?
Because. Okay,
why would you stop? If you're good at something, you wouldn't stop.
Unless you're a genius and you know that if your hands are in it, it's gonna trace back to you.
He's a businessman. He knows. Okay, let's go back. Do you? How much of a genius was Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor?
We're not talking about Gene Hackman's Lex. In Superman 1 and 2, he wasn't bad.
He was like a smart car salesman. That's what he was. Much. He even dressed like him. It was a joke.
He was.
He even had like when he came in the room. It was ridiculous.
Wait. Okay, hold on.
So, you're like, oh, here's somebody, and then never use him again.
So we're not going to keep it a secret. In a few weeks, we're going to do Superman 2, right? And I remember one thing from that movie is him going into the White House, waving the white flag, talking about, I'm going to give you Kryptonians Australia. Like, what?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're pretty tapped out here.
Yes, we are. I'm tired.
I could talk about so much more.
I bet you could, but that has
this
nothing
episode
to do
of Titans.
Oh no! More stuff.
Yeah, of course.
More stuff.
We can always talk about more stuff, but there's only so many hours in a day. And we were here to talk about Titans, and unfortunately, there just wasn't enough to go around. So
we are in the final hour.
We are done.
So
we have stretched this as much as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
I even tried adding a middle part that had nothing to do with it to make it go a little bit longer.
We added 7 middle parts. And we still never got to an ending to close it out.
We would have added a couple of more middle parts if you didn't stop me.
Yep.
Well, all right, everyone.
Well,
thanks for. Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.
Tune in next week.
For more.
For more.